Hi everybody, this is Bug S Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Gold Label Walmart exclusive DC vs. Vampires Vampire Superman figure. So before we take a look at Superman, let's take a look at all of the accessories that he comes with. So first up, you get your standard DC Multiverse base. It is kind of odd that he didn't come with a flight stand. Up next, you get his data file with a 6-shot of the Matina variant cover here. That looks very nice. And if you want to read this, go ahead and pause it now. This is a pretty generic bio for Superman. I feel like they've used this quite a few times on Superman figures. Up next, he comes with a set of fisted hands. And I really thought these were just regular fisted hands until I turned them over and I saw the claws there on the thumbs. I'm pretty sure these hands are unique to this figure. And finally, he comes with a set of open clawed hands. And these look very awesome. McFarlane Toys did a very awesome job on these. So now let's go ahead and take a look at his head sculpt. So taking a closer look at this head sculpt, this is one of my favorite DC Multiverse head sculpts that McFarlane Toys has done. The sculpt detail to this is crazy. His hair is sculpted very nicely and has some paint variation over top of it, and so does his skin tone. His skin tone is cast in that it's like a weird brownish green color, and it has that gray painted over top of it. That looks so awesome. I like the red eyes and the shading around his eyes. That looks incredible. The jagged teeth there covered in blood. You can see the blood inside his mouth and dripping outside of his mouth. That looks really good. And just like the art there on the card, you can see the bite there on his neck. That just looks so good. And the blood dripping from the bite right there. McFarlane Toys did an incredible job on this head sculpt. McFarlane Toys always knocks it out of the park when it's a monstrous looking head sculpt, and this head sculpt is no exception. This does reuse the Page Puncher's Superman body mold, but as you can see, it has a new neck piece for the texturing there and the bite mark on the vampire version. I don't mind it because I really love this body mold, and I think it really makes sense for McFarlane Toys to reuse this body mold. The first time we saw this, it was done in classic Superman colors, but this time it's done in this very dark blue color with red, and that looks really good. McFarlane Toys did a very awesome job with that. You also get some silver on the wrists there and on the belt. The hands are sculpted very nicely, and they also have that paint variation to them. I do wish that the fingernails would have been painted black or something, though. They're just cast in the same color as the skin tone there, and I think it would look a lot better with some nails painted on, so I'm definitely going to do that myself. The only bad thing I have to say about this figure is the wrist pegs are a noticeably different color than the skin tone. It wouldn't be so bad if it was the same color gray, but it's a very noticeable difference there. So yeah, that is really my only complaint with this figure. You get some silver at the top of the boots here, and one thing that I was surprised about is you get some crazy sculpt detail to the soles of his boots right there. You can see the Superman logo on each of his boots, and some really cool texturing on the treads there. That looks really cool. So even the bottoms of the feet on this figure are sculpted nicely. McFarlane Toys just did an awesome job on this. So now let's go ahead and go over his articulation. He has a ball jointed head that can look up just about all the way. He can look down very slightly. He can move his head side to side. He has ball jointed shoulders that can move out all the way. Butterfly joints that can move all the way around. Swiveled bicep that can move side to side. Double jointed elbows that can bend in all the way, wrists that can move up and down and spin all the way around, ball jointed diaphragm and waist that can move back all the way. He can crunch forward a decent amount for a DC Multiverse figure. He can't move side to side up here, just moves like that. He can move side to side down here at the waist. He has hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back all the way. He has a nice thigh swivel. Double jointed knees that can only bend back that far, ball jointed ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, spin all the way around, and toe articulation that can move up all the way. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to the Page Puncher Superman figure, and so far, I think this DC vs. Vampire Superman figure is my favorite reuse on this body mold. I just think it looks spectacular. Here he is next to Vampire Batman. And finally, there he is next to Vampire Joker. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because so far this is the best DC vs. Vampires figure that McFarlane Toys has put out. I just love everything about it. The collars and sculpt detail on him are superb, and this is definitely the best vampire head sculpt we've got from McFarlane Toys so far. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.